and welcome to Mostly Minnesota Music Podcast Edition. I'm Ann Tracy, and I'm here with my co-host,
Heather Baker.
Yeah, and we are here with Phillip St. John. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. We are excited to talk to you. You have an album that's coming out, Sun Indigo, on June 25th.
An EP, yes.
EP. Those are interchangeable in my mind, but yeah, yeah. So Heather and I have been listening.
Right? You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Heather and I have been listening to it, and it's great.
Thank you so much.
It's great, and I'm torn between diving right into some of the songs and just saying there's really a feel of transformation and gratitude that on a high level I kind of want to ask a little bit about.
Absolutely. And looking back at it in my writing process, yeah, it was all about dealing with going through everything in 2020 and then making those songs and being like, oh wow, something came out of this.
That's great. Now, some songs are very clearly written have they all been written sort of since January 2020?
Yeah, this little EP came about like very quickly. I wrote the first track at the end of January and the second one at the beginning of February. And then I think by the time it was March, all of it was written. And then I just had to record it.
Holy smokes. That's amazing. So which did you start with? Which came first?
So actually, the first two tracks that I wrote to were from the producer, who my friend Mama Rose introduced me to, Jason Fay. He actually had this little project that he released that had like 6 beats on it. And he let me write to 2 of them because I asked him. He's like, oh, yeah, sure. You want to write a song? So the song New Pavement was the first thing I wrote, actually. And that was my most like kind of divergent, like minimalistic of hip hop of a song. You know what I mean? It was more like neo soul with like a little bit of hip hop in there. And that was the first thing I wrote. And then I was like, okay, I had just got off a 2.5 months of like, oh, I should quit music. Like I quit all of this. I can't take any of this anymore. And then I wrote that and I was like, all right, we're back. Let's hear it.
I love the range of your voice on New Pavement.
Yeah, and oddly enough, the second half of that I wrote the night before I recorded. It just came to me because I started journaling, and then all of a sudden I got these like lyrics coming in, and I was like, "What's this?" And then the next day, I like brought my keyboard, and me and my friend Tom and Jason, we just got together and we made that second part, the You Say thing, and that was just like, whew, very transformative and fun and very spontaneous,
Can I back up to when you were like, I'm done with music and blah, 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 and then you came out with this, I'm going to have to say right now, the lyrics, like, I wrote down so many that I loved. You're amazing. So I'm super excited for everyone to hear this, but hearing you say you wanted to quit when I'm like, he's genius. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. I want to hear what the hell made you ever think you were going to be done with it.
I think honestly, it had to do a lot with interacting with people on the music scene and feeling like, I was always grasping for straws because I've always kind of had like a struggle being this mixed person. Like I'm Native, but I'm like multicultural mixed, and people don't really know where to put me. And then like my music is, it blends genres, so I don't necessarily like, you can't just pin me down in one place. So sometimes it's hard for me to find like camaraderie in a way that's like actually building somewhere together with people. And so there was this point where I was just getting really frustrated because I wanted to help our community so much through the George Floyd stuff, through the pandemic stuff. And I was like trying to set stuff up, and then people were like, actually, we're just going to do stuff for ourselves. And I got super discouraged. Plus, the reason why I came to the city in the first place was because I loved Rhymesayers so much. And I was super disappointed with the way that they handled their outings with, you know, the people that their clients have abused. I was really disappointed in that. And it kind of just broke my heart. And I was just, you know, I was just in a state where I was like, does it even matter anymore? Like, is anyone, like, is nothing sacred anymore? You know, it was just a very tough time in my life. Plus, I had dealt with multiple things. Like, I got my car stolen. I had gone through a breakup. Like, all this crazy stuff just piled up. And then it just ended up being like a really long extended break where I watched anime, played chess, did some yoga, you know, like I took a break from like being a musician is what it turned into. And I was like, actually, I'm really bored now. I just got to write some music again. That's how I came back, is I was just like, this is great. But, you know, like without doing music, like I know how to do music and there's so much I can do. I know that there's so many ideas like I have. And like with everything else, it just felt like I didn't have like any excitement for, even though I was like on my way towards healing. So, but I appreciate that you love that track so much. And yeah, it was a very...
No, all of them. Let me make it clear. All. Sorry to interrupt.
I appreciate it.
I am wondering now if, when you're saying, you know, you are a mixed race and you don't fit in all these boxes, do you now view it as a superpower? Because I'm like, that's kind of an awesome thing.
Yeah, it's always tricky because like some days I get like really into it and I'm like, yeah, you know, like I'm a bridge to like all these other people who might be locked in and feel like they can't think outside of that too. Like, then I'm like, well, I can, because like I have to, because I don't have a choice. Other times I'm like, dang, wish I had like a group of like I don't know, an easier type of like, hey, I wish I could go down this block and find some native people that I know that like welcome me, like are open. But I've always had mixed results too, like trying to get back into the native community, because like originally I'm Apache and that's down like New Mexico, Arizona, Mexico, and I've never even like been over to like a reservation over there, and I've never even, you know, my dad figured out he was native halfway in his life, so he just kind of made do and learned about it, but he never really had a native community to like specifically go to as well. So I'm just kind of trying to get past the cycles intergenerationally and just trying to break it or rise above it. You know, that's a long-winded answer to that. I wasn't even that stuff, but that's how I deal with, you know, that. So yes, some days I'm like superpower, other days I'm like, it's a little isolating sometimes, but I find my group, like my rap group Pact, we're all just a bunch of different people, and we talk about metaphysical stuff, spiritual stuff, and our vision for like elevating community, people through our art, and that kind of centers me when I do feel lost.
Is that the one with Mama Rose in there too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and Tom and Aaron. So
I'm very interested to see what you guys come up with that. I like what you're basing yourselves on. So have you been in music before? Have you always been sort of self-discovery, positive? Like it's really nice to listen to.
Oh, thank you. You know, like I said, I was inspired by Rhymesayers, so, you know, disappointed in them now, but I'm not gonna like lie and be like, yeah, I just went. No, they definitely inspired me to figure out how to speak in a more introspective way that's inspirational and encouraging, and so I kept that with me. And like my earlier works, like in 2016 was like my first EP, Empower. I got it tattooed on my wrists, and like, so I would say that, you know, I've always had those elements, but when I was first starting out, I also had like a lot of anger and depression that was like lingering from being in that like otherness area, growing up in Hastings, Minnesota, in like a town where I was like, like I always kind of like asked so many questions and like was trying to think bigger than like the town I was in. So I also had like these lingering feelings of jadedness and kind of like a victim mentality that I was able to clear out eventually. So in my first two projects, it was, you know, sprinkles of the creative, the positive, and then like that jaded stuff, and it kind of balanced out. But now looking forward, I'm trying to figure out how to make music where even if it's like I have heavy emotions, it's not supposed to be like poor me. It's more like I want to inspire whoever's listening that like yes, I've been through what you've been through, but it's like I'm gonna get through this, you know, instead of fixating on it.
I was going to say that reminds me of your song Sun Indigo, because it is so introspective of all the layers of stuff that, you know, were happening in that time. And it, you know, is, I'm assuming your story, but it also gives people that are not, maybe don't have the same perspective or the same awareness, and is a great way for people to digest it on their own time, I guess.
Right. One of the artists that I had followed had said, that inspired me, had said that they make music for after the party. And I was like, yeah, you know, like, yeah, you can, now that I'm like more into my craft, like you can throw some of my stuff on at a party. Some of it is like, yeah, definitely in your bedroom type stuff. But I always took that into mind, like, yeah, who is my audience? And it's weird because it's everyone, but like at different times, you know, like I'm always going through different vibes and trying to make my perspective as refreshed as possible so that I'm not stuck someplace or I'm not stuck with the same type of music even. Like I'm always trying to evolve. Um,
And that makes me
well,
think of your song and your video, Where We At Now?
mm-hmm.
You know, and I love the obviously the front and center family perspective of it.
Right. That was an idea that I just, you know, sporadically came up with and then we hadn't even really planned like our shots or anything. And Mama Rose, Charlotte, her daughter just had a birthday, and there was like some balloons in there, and it just ended up working out really well. They were so excited to be like helpful. They were actually helping the camera guy Pete hold up some light stuff while he was like
Oh,
taping it and stuff, and I was just like, wow, this is great. Um, that was the second song I made, Where We At Now,
okay.
also by Jason, and that was one of those songs that had been eluding me for I think my whole career, where I was like trying to make the one song that doesn't feel too long and you want more, and we just you know got in there. Tom did his thing on guitar, Jason played bass on it and switched up some parts and just made it super infused with like interesting melodies and grooves in a way that like I had wanted to do since I started, but I had to go through a few producers first that were more focused on getting paid than trying to take the art to the next level. And that's another thing is like I've gone through all these steps of like, you know, being like completely like a maverick and outcast to just like working my way up to like a stable point where I'm like, all right, once this is out, you got to put some respect on my name because these are vibes, and I'm not gonna cringe. You know, like maybe my first project, I had some moments where I was like, it's kind of cringy now, but like this, I was just like, I like this. I like all of it. I like every single thing I did because I had a lot of direction and I had a lot of help in my corner the whole time.
That's an amazing thing to be able to say. You know, you should internalize that, and it comes out in the album too. But to be able to step back and say that, I think that's amazing. That's a real testament to the music, as well as. But I have to tell you, as you say and you said it's music for every day, and I think about that. Where are we at now? To me, that's not a song for after the party. That's the song to get you, and not get you to the party, but to get you to the race you're going to run, to get you to the, just to inspire you to do what you're going to do. You know,
Right.
I love it from that perspective.
Yeah, and with my last two projects too, I kind of always follow this formula where I like start, and then it goes from that like bright and sunny and to that like more dark and slower and more thinking mode, and I no matter what I do, I can't escape it. I'm always like, well, that's just how I am. That's just the vibe I go for. I'm like, woo. So, but I appreciate your words.
I was going to say, yeah, it balances out. I want to know for here, I just have to look at what the lyric I'm trying to find, because I wrote down so many. Even when you were saying where we're at now, find the rain inside your head, like, I just think now when everybody's not afraid to say exactly where they're at or what they need or things aren't perfect, and just to have a song to be like, yeah, I get it, or thank you, because still some people don't want to share, and I think it is really beautiful. And then how you say making light from the dark and value, I don't know if I'm saying this exactly right, valuing of a spark, seeing the value of a spark or something.
Oh, that line.
I might be mixing all the ones that I like. So
that first one, I think the last thing I said was, a tree grows regardless of the value of its bark, is what I said. So
too many concerts, I can't hear jack shit. So sorry.
No, you're fine. When I first started, I've always had like different things that have challenged me as a artist, where when I first started, somebody I knew was like, I don't think you should rap, you slur your words too much. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I can work on that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, and sometimes I don't care, and I don't even think about it until I'm like, oh yeah, maybe some people, but it's whatever, you know what I mean? Like I'm not like offended by that. I'm gonna put all my lyrics up with this and that. My favorite part, I think, about growing up with music is realizing that I didn't know all the lyrics to my favorite song. Even pop songs that are hyper clear and stuff, I'm still like, how did I get that wrong? So I'm not like offended.
The famous "Excuse me while I kiss this guy."
Yeah, right? Yeah, like, and that's the thing, is like, sometimes me and my friends would just change lyrics anyways, that we like, of some songs that we love, just to like spice up our day. So it's like,
or that's what we need to hear.
I was just gonna say,
yeah.
Yes, of course.
You're kind of guiding us right to where we need to be. Okay, since I love so many lyrics, if you could see all the sheets of my notes of your lyrics that I love, who knows if I'm correct or not? Seriously. Is there something that you've written that is kind of touched you more than others? Because I seriously can't get over your writing. I'm interested to know if there's something that's special to you or you're connected to a little deeper than any. And it doesn't have to be from this. I think you have a lot of great things to say.
Yeah, there was this, since you're gonna extend it to anything, I did this little side project with one of my good friends, Nick Baker. We made this stripped down. It wasn't acoustic, but he had an electric guitar. It was basically like acoustic in a sense of like it was just me and his guitar. And I actually was able to write this song about my dad and this ex of mine who both, I think, transformed my life more by like leaving, like my ex by getting out of there, my dad by passing away. And like that was one of the more powerful songs that I think I've written, where I was finally able to get through that that process of feeling helpless, feeling like I needed somebody. I needed like a figure to look over me because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know like how to just be a person, like going from job to job. I'm like, oh my God, well, I don't even know what I'm doing next. I'm doing my music now, but is this going to work? Is this going to work? All that good stuff. So that song's called Infant. And that one is one of the ones that I think holds dear to me. You can find that on Bandcamp, by the way, because I had to release it as like a dual project in agreement with Nick in order for him to do it. So that's an interesting project. Also, I'm just sitting on the floor now because it's so hot.
You see me moving all the time.
One of my proudest moments, I think, on the project, like I love all of Sun Indigo, the project, but the song especially. I love all of my lyrics on there. I think my friend Charlotte summarized it up like best. She said like this is like a culmination of like you showing everyone that you know how to be an artist, and this is how far you've come. And I just thought about that, and I was like, yeah, actually, this is like I'm throwing all of my, not bells and whistles, but like my methods of creating into this song and just making like a well-crafted statement, artist statement. That's what she called it. And that song was crazy because I was about to record a song in the studio, and then Jason sent me this guy's contact info and was like, hey, this guy's got a beat pack. And I was like, okay. And I like looked through it and I found that track for Sun Indigo, and I just started writing, and I finished it and I recorded it like with an hour to spare before I was going to go to the studio, and then I recorded it all that day. And I actually had to finish the writing for the bridge towards the end in the bathroom after I recorded the first two verses. So I think it was just this whole project. I was just very like the spontaneity of it, like how unplanned all of it was. Like I didn't just have everything and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna write this song, now that song's done, now I'm gonna write. It was just everything kept popping up and just falling into place perfectly. Lyric wise, I think my favorite thing that means the most to me is the You Say transition track after New Pavement, though. I think that was me reaching into like my inner depths and just saying what I needed to say. And that was like I don't care anymore. I don't care if this person doesn't like my music. These people don't like me because I said this online, all the things that like, can attack an artist or even just a person at the end of the day. I was like, get away from me. Like, I need to protect my energy, and I'm just going to let you know, you don't have power over me. I don't care. Like, you have to see me as a person before you can judge me. And if you don't even know me, I'm not even going to accept that. And that's where those lyrics were basically coming from. And then, let's see, my second verse in Faith, the closing track, was just addressing my, my mixed race, my goals as an artist, and my statement that, yeah, not only do I not care what you say, but I'm actually never gonna like retire again, whatever I was saying. I'm never gonna like quit. Like, this is like what I was made to do. This is my thing.
I love the change of your voice at the end of that song, and parts of it I don't know, are these different people singing? If you get a kid in
No,
there a
that's
little
all me.
bit, or yeah. I mean, first I was like, oh, maybe that's one of those kids from the video, and then I was like, I think this is all different. It's a it gives the song in the message such a timeliness. You know, I've accepted myself at kind of all stages. This is from the outside what it feels like. You know,
Right, right, and a lot of that was I worked with my producer Jason, and we went line by line in order to like add those little effects and sprinkles, add the little buddy voice that was like more like chipmunkish
yeah.
and stuff. That was and it was unexpected. I actually had this third verse that was crazy and was like gonna like I had this crazy vision, and we just ended up making something totally different. But we were like, this is great, and this is enough, and people are gonna like this. You know, the spontaneity aspect of it just made it more pleasant for me as a creator to like not just know exactly how it's gonna turn out. You know, ironically on the song Faith. You know what I mean?
I like when you were saying to let go of what people said. You had something I just saw on your Instagram saying, your power is yours alone to share regardless on how it is received. And I was just like, ooh, I feel like I need to put that on my shirt and remind myself when I look in the mirror, because it is really easy to let other people tell you who you are, or if you're good, if you're bad, or if you slur your lyric or your, like, then you're like, oh shoot, I should change this. No, you shouldn't. But you have to strengthen your mind, I guess. And I feel like your EP allows people to even have that memory muscle strengthened by listening to what you have to say. Wow. So thank you.
I really appreciate that. That's honestly, when I first started, I had kind of like a savior mentality where I just wanted everyone to listen to me because I know what's up. I know the truth. And now I'm like, I know I have wisdom that I've accrued over the years, and wisdom is rooted in truth in a non-extremist way that demands that, like you said, attention, a quick fix of this and that. Like, it's just pure. It's pure, and that's what I strive to keep when I make music, is to keep that purity with whatever I'm doing. And like, yeah, like I've made some songs that are funny or like a little out of my lane that I was a little uncomfortable with because I wanted to fit in. And ultimately I've been like, all right, but my goal is to reach people and to just help them get through the day, because that's what music did for me when I was younger, when I was like feeling alone, when I felt like I was this other person, this other thing that was just not fitting in to the puzzle piece of the friend groups and the job groups and all this stuff. That's what I had. And that's what I know other people have too. And there's going to be more people like me. There's going to be more people who are mixed. There's going to be more people who crave stability and balance away from the polarized way of the world right now that is especially, more in your face now more than ever.
Certainly more than I can remember. And I think that message of feeling like the other is obviously there are people who feel and are defined by themselves and by others as more as the other. But everybody's got a little bit of themselves that feel, so there is a universality to it on a spectrum.
Right.
And it's not the same, but my kids have an American parent and an Irish parent, and when you bump around to two different countries, you always have a foot in each. It's very different because they, it's different because the outward connection with people is different than somebody, but but they still have that sort of they went through a phase, especially when we were bumping back and forth, where they weren't quite Irish, they weren't quite American.
Right.
Yeah, but again, on a spectrum. But I think that is, again, I think that adds to the universality of so much of this. Really, just lifts the reader, the listener.
Right.
I'm reading it as I say it, but so it, which is a great gift to have.
Yeah, and that's good. Just even hearing from you two makes me know, well, I must be on the way to something if I can affect, so these two people who I've never met before so greatly. That gives me, that just reaffirms what I've known for it when I was making it. I was like, this is great. This is going to do a good job. Yes, there's vibes. Yes, there's creativity, but more than anything, there is a message in each track, and they all have a place in your day.
I can't wait till people can hear it.
I know. I'm kind of chomping at the bit here for I want it to be out.
It's been killing me because the Current picked up Where We At Now on the message the other day, and so people are like, oh, great track, where's that? And I was like, not now. That's like, I gotta wait. Like, I originally had it scheduled for the 11th, but then I was like, something's gonna happen. I just like my little witchy intuition, whatever you want to call it, was just like, I don't know, because I had this song last year called Breathe, very much on the wavelength of Sun Indigo. I can't believe I haven't even brought that up. I made a music video for that, very zen song, just reminding you to choose to take a breath instead of go towards anger, right? And the day after I released it, the George Floyd stuff happened.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
And then a week later, somebody posted my video and I was like, oh, cool. And someone was like, really? After this happened, you're going to post a song about breathing? And I was like, oh my God, I can't even promote the song, and then I got really into the marching, the protesting, but I was just like, that's so interesting that something like that would actually have a massive effect on me. Just trying to just help people. I was like, really? I've only seen that once. And that was, and I know it might sound like I'm rambling, but whatever. I've only seen it once, and that was when after the Sandy Hook stuff happened, they pulled Kesha's song Die Young from the radio for 8 weeks. And then after that, they slowly phased it back in. It was very interesting. So I don't know what it means, it's kind of just what it is. But this whole thing has been me trying to control what I can and just let go and be like, okay, I'm choosing this date. This is the time, and I just got to wait now. That's all I can do. But every other day, I'm like, dang. My sister even, she just called me. She's like, that was a great interview from the Current or whatever. When's the song come out? I'm like, a week and 6 days. 2 weeks,
It's 4 sleeps, 3 sleeps. We're looking at the calendar, Xing off the days here.
It was crazy too, because I hadn't told people that I was doing music again until the end of May. So the whole time I was just walking around some people knew, but I was like, none of these people know. I'm coming back. So it's been a funny process because it's usually I'm always so vocal, but this whole thing taught me to be more contained and protective of my energy and a little bit more secretive in order to not stress myself out in order to not overexert myself into exhaustion and eventually into an attitude like I'm not where I should be. You know, that's the biggest struggle I've had to face as an artist.
That's a great way to kind of to come about it. And I don't know why yet, but that date will be the perfect date. And there's nothing wrong with building up a little demand before the supply's there.
Right.
So my daytime marketing person saying that, you know, I really think that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's amazing. But it'll, you know, you've chosen that date carefully, and there's a reason for it. You know?
Right. So now I just gotta wait, and you know, I'm waiting on a second music video that I shot already for the title track "Sun Indigo" to be fully edited, and that'll come out in July. So keeping the ball rolling as much as I can. And right now, I'm actually like probably 3/4 done writing my album because I just kept going.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Has it been as free flowing just because you're kind of on a roll and you are seeming, by speaking to you, kind of taking care of yourself and the process for yourself there? Has that been helpful in continue writing, or?
I think it was a process of me being like, I'm finally ahead. I've always been like, you know, like kind of behind, late on like when I'm going to have a show, late on when I'm going to have a video. Like the video comes out like 2 months after the project instead. Like, what am I doing? And then it just like after I finished all my tracks, I just started writing, and it just felt like I knew who I was, and I was so confident in things that I was writing that, yeah, it just was effortless, flawless. So everything I'm working on now is gonna be completely crazy compared to like this last project too. Like I'm just excited to keep the ball rolling. The hardest thing is just being patient. Like, I wish I could just release this tomorrow. Just like record and release a whole album tomorrow too. Like, why not? We gotta make money somehow too, I guess.
Right. Do you have a date of when your whole album is out?
No.
Oh, here's me like, come on. Sorry. I'm excited for you, so I can't wait to see what else you have coming out too.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I've been working on tracks though with like my group. And we're trying to figure out how to release those, like some in the summer, probably some in the fall, and we've been collabing with each other. So like Mama Rose, she released a project in like February. She keeps releasing singles, and our boy Tom, he's gonna release something probably towards the end of the year, and like I'm releasing like pretty soon now. So we're kind of like, you know, balancing out our releases and trying not to do too much while someone's doing this and that. Charlotte though has so much energy though. She'll like she's like, here's another track. Can we release like 2 other tracks this month? I'm like, no, that's my month, Charlotte. Don't you chill out. And then she's like, okay. I'm like, all right. But
That's good balance.
so like, yeah, it's a good balance. So like I'm gonna have like some more tracks I'll drop later this year, and I'm planning on. I filled out a bunch of grants, and they all are gonna respond pretty much at the end of the month. Which also, this combined with waiting for my project makes me want to pull out my hair because I'm like, I know someone's gonna give me a grant, and we'll see where that goes. You know, not pulling the gun, but like I'm just steady trying to build up all this stuff around me where I'm like, okay, you know, if the shows are kind of kaput right now, how can I get money this way and that way? Because I ended up getting a emergency COVID grant last year that actually helped me live and not work. And that like just kind of changed my perspective. I'm like, oh wait, people will actually give me money? Like so yeah. But tentatively next year, probably in the spring, I'll drop a new album. Probably. no promises, but that's like what I want to do.
It's a lesson in patience for all of us.
Yeah.
That's good. But for folks who are listening now, what would be the best way to find out that? Where can people find you online?
Yeah, so I actually just made a website like 2 months ago on Squarespace. So www.psjmusic.com, straight up.
Nice.
Phillip St. John on Instagram. Let's see, Facebook.com. It was weird because like I just wanted PSJ Music, and this person in Japan has like one of their handles on Twitter. This person in Germany has like, and they've been inactive for like 7 years, and I'm like, I can't get PS, just straight PS. Yeah, and Facebook.com/PSJMusicMPLS. So go to my website.
Probably link to all of it there.
Yeah, full name PHILLIPSAINTJOHN. I gotta spell it out because some people they only use the one L or they do ST period, and I'm like, that's my name. But I just wanted to complicate things for everyone when I made it my artist name, and it made it slightly different.
It's all about building that demand.
Right.
You can't be too easy. That's good.
Gotta have little bits, little crumbs.
That's good. That's good. No, the website looks great. All of that is great. And we're all excited for people to hear Sun Indigo on June 25th, and to see. Where are we at now? On June 18th.
18th.
1 week from each other.
That's right. And your website, right?
Yep, we are premiering it. I'm super excited about it.
You're premiering it.
Yeah. So I've been watching. I'm one of the few people who have been watching it. I'm so excited for it. It's so positive, and it's very affirming, and it's fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited because I'm actually going to, not to de-magic the artist thing, but like I'm actually going to try to like get some advertisements put together for it, like advertise it on YouTube, and actually like try to push it out more than just like locally. And I want to see what it does, and hopefully I can reach even more people. And I've been actually working on trying to sync license my stuff for movies and shows and all that. So I've been stalking some music supervisors, and I'm like, I got to figure out how to message them in a not creepy way. Like, this song is perfect. Take my voice out. Use the instrumental. I don't care. Just the world needs this energy.
Yes. Yes.
It does.
And you were talking before, you're looking for some bandmates. Can we say that? Or what you're looking for, too?
I'm looking for bandmates. I, so far, just have a drummer locked down. Anything else is fair game. Like, I was like, yeah, I need a guitarist, bassist, keyboardist, maybe a turntablist. I don't even know. Like, whatever I can get. A full jazz ensemble. Why not?
The right accordion might just make it.
Right. I am looking, though, and I even said, I was like, look, I will take pay cuts in the beginning just to like make sure that you guys get money. I don't even care. Like, I want to play music. I want to make this happen. I'm making this happen. I'm going super hard on all this stuff.
Awesome. We'll include that in the notes. So
all right.
It'll be a great opportunity for someone. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you are gonna be moving with this one. I know it.
It's good. I like that confidence. Because, like, I have that confidence, and then I forget. Like, sometimes I just, like, for, like, a week, if I don't write anything, I'll just, like, forget that I did something like this and that it's still not out yet. And I'll just be like, oh, yeah, I should be really confident right now, shouldn't I? Like, it's really fun. But, yeah, being an artist is crazy, and I'm just super glad that I got your ears to listen to it and that we're going to be able to build up some hype.
Nice. Phillip, thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing your joy, your liftability with us. It's been fantastic.
And thank you so much, Anne and Heather. Appreciate your energy.
Yes.
Thank you.